Hey guys, John from the John Muir Show here, and it's recently been learned that Minnesota Democrat Congresswoman Ilhan Omar recently publicly referred to the 9/11 terror attacks as "some people did something." Yeah, I mean, it's shameful, the comment that she made, but it's not surprising. Because in the just over 3 months that Ilhan Omar has been on Capitol Hill, we have heard a number of disgusting comments come out of her mouth. Most of those that pertain to anti-Semitic remarks. But now we've got Ilhan Omar trying to downplay one of the worst moments in United States history. And yeah, you know what? You would hope that people would be pushing back against it. Now, it comes as no surprise that not a single Democrat on Capitol Hill is willing to push back against it. Heck, Omar and some of her other radical far-left friends, they in just a remarkably short amount of time have been able to bully the Democrat Party leadership, the people who are supposed to be leaders, the Chuck Schumers and Nancy Pelosi's of the world, to the point where, yeah, Omar just says, "You're not going to punish me for anything I do. I can get away with whatever I want." And it's abundantly clear that's the case when she continues to go on and say more and more and more disgusting things, this time against our country. But just because you have some spineless Democrats on Capitol Hill that won't condemn Ilhan Omar, I'm so glad that there are some prominent folks out there who are willing to do the necessary thing of condemning her. You had Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw, who has fought for this country. Heck, he's lost an eye defending this country. You had the New York Post, both coming out and being critical, rightfully critical, of Ilhan Omar for the comments that she'd made. So what was the response then from some of the prominent folks on the left? Well, you had people like MSNBC's Morning Joe Scarborough, another freshman congresswoman, socialist congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They spoke out about the entire matter as well, but not to criticize Congresswoman Omar, no, to criticize Congressman Crenshaw and the New York Post, the people who called out Omar for her disgusting remarks. Yeah, you had Morning Joe saying, "How dare Congressman Crenshaw go out and condemn Congresswoman Omar for those comments? No, she's a Muslim female, and it's important that she succeeds because she's one of the first Muslim females to serve in Congress. So you know what? You shouldn't go criticizing her for anything." And yet AOC talking about how, the New York Post, in denouncing the remarks by Congresswoman Omar, you know what they were doing? They were inciting violence against progressive women of color. Yet all this nonsense coming from those lefties. Now, here, let's take a look at this. What happened is Congresswoman Omar made one specific comment in question here about the United States of America. You had people pushing back against that one comment. There was nothing stated about Muslims or women or people of color on Capitol Hill or any of that stuff that people like Morning Joe or Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez are trying to bring into the conversation. There was nothing stated about that whatsoever. Heck, for me personally, I have nothing against Muslim women. I just happen to have something against this one individual who just so happens to be a Muslim woman. But this conversation, it has nothing to do with a person's faith. It has nothing to do with a person's gender. Those things are totally irrelevant here. What it is about is somebody, a sitting member of Congress of all people, coming out and saying that is so offensive against my country. And you know what? I don't care what faith you are. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Yeah, if you do something like Congresswoman Ilhan Omar just did, I've got a problem with you, and so do a lot of other Americans, like Dan Crenshaw and like the folks at the New York Post here. The reason it is, and it's so predictable, that folks like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Joe Scarborough, that they would go bringing in, you know what, here's some identity politics for you. She's a Muslim, and she's a woman, and she's a person of color. That right there is why you're targeting her. The only reason they bring in that stuff is because they don't have a factual argument to make to defend Congresswoman Omar's position. It is abundantly clear that she was in the wrong once again with the comments that she has publicly made. They have no legitimate case to defend her. So what do? They try changing the conversation, bringing in things that have nothing to do with the matter whatsoever. It is so predictable. It is so tired at this point. It would be nice if they would cut it with this identity politics crap, cut it with trying to demonize their political opponents, and just get some damn common sense. Or you know what? If they want to continue to be senseless, that's fine. But just admit that you don't have a damn argument to make. Whew. That's all the time that we have for today and for this week, but tune in to the John Muir Show once again on Monday and each and every weekday, 8:40 a.m. on WTAQ, 9 a.m. WSAU and WHBL. Till next time, I'm out.